Well,
no, you're in the clear. You're in the clear.
I'm glad. Maybe in the future that will be my future role. I'll join. I'll coach the team. We're on Nuke to begin with. It is Astralis versus Payne here. Second game of the day, and Astralis going to be starting on the CT side. Payne swiftly out the door to try and take and hunt down Yabby. He's going to get a headshot here, down to 2 bullets. He hits another one to take down Snow. A remarkable turn of events at the start of it, and HOTU will join in, kill on Davideus. It's just Rix and NQC here. I don't necessarily even hate the play for Payne, but as often happens with these kind of rounds, the early kills in a pistol round just make such a big difference.
Yeah, and it's hard to guarantee ever for either side. But it's looking good for Astralis. And we'll see how things progress on the CT side. Obviously, this map is... one of the reasons why I love this map is because it offers one of the more unique gameplay dynamics in the sense that the CT rotation with the the bomb sites stacked on top of each other and the outside-inside dynamics, it's just very different. And is there a world? Shot here from NQZ.
I think the issue is he's already known. They already know he is, right?
Yeah.
If it's a bit different, if he has a lot more time that he can sort of wrap around, and if they were fighting him, or other things would have to be true here.
Yes.
But yeah, Nuke is a fantastic map. Still is to this day. Probably, I think my favorite map out of all of them in the pool. So
yeah, it's just good to have a diversity in the sense of different skill sets that are emphasized by the map having different dynamics. And Nuke is one of the best examples of that. There we go. All right, 4 players surviving. And the economy is nice for the CT side. Obviously, the levels of comfort that you get when you play a map like this and you get to start off with a good CT economy is just night and day. There are other maps where it's not as bad, but...
No, it's I mean, I think for Astralis right now, just try and keep things rolling. Come into the tournament. Like Richard was saying, they had the slight advantage. Maybe Astralis are playing ODDIK at the start. Probably one of the less strong teams in the tournament. So carry that momentum forward. Enjoy the fact that Payne is playing with Rix instead of GGT.
Yes.
And hope that you can sort of roll it into something more exciting here, because it's a weird position for Astralis to be in. It might also feel, just for the players, like it's sort of there's not much being risked here. Like it's all chaos anyway, so just kind of do what you can in the moment. I think with just the one task of surviving. Don't even care if he gets no kills here. Just don't die with the M4.
Don't die. TM. Stare. Takes 1. Repositions. Device to cover. That's not getting what he wanted there exactly. Got to be cautious. They are going deep for that kill. They know he's low. And there it is. 3v3. And it seems like this came out of nowhere. Like everything was positionally really good for Astralis, but maybe some missed shots, and suddenly this is a risky round.
They were both towards CT spawn, both down. I don't even know how they died in that, but that is such a ridiculous occurrence. 3v3, 40 seconds. Davideus bringing the bomb back. He's got the M4. NQC has the other one. Still a hard round for Payne to win, but no longer as impossible as it should have really been from the start here. Stam going to peek up. They very nearly line up for him, and yeah, I think he's taking care of business now. Ready to swing. He's dropped a bit low on health here. I say a bit, he's down to 3, but it doesn't matter. Expert play. And a nice quad kill for Stam. I will say this, like all the ups and downs of this Astralis line, I feel like Stam's been the only solid player that's just been performing well, which is weird because he's not the one with all the experience. So I don't know how that works, but it's cool to see.
Yeah, maybe that can be part of it sometimes. He's just out there to try to do his best job, and no expectations, no biases, just play the game. Yeah,
but it's, in a way, I think it almost reflects badly on everybody else too, because you think of somebody like Device or Stan or Yabby, like they know so much more. They should know so much more about the game. They should be more relaxed in a sense, but I feel like that has not been the case. Payne throwing not just 1 but 2 walls of smokes. They're a team that love doing that out in the yard. So you see both smoke walls. What it means is that Astralis, they can't really blow open all of the smoke. So whichever one they choose to blow open, it's just not going to be enough. It's obviously an insane amount of smokes to commit just to get the cross, but And some teams don't do this, but paiN, they are one of the teams that love doing it, and you'll see it a lot. The other thing they love doing when they go A is, I see almost always in the demos, they end up pushing ramp first. So they even if they don't go all the way in ramp, but they always signal ramp and then they go back to A anyway. But just a couple of tendencies in how the team plays. This might not be one of those. If they go A here, they might not do it because they don't have a lot of utility. But we'll see. With a man already down, it feels like ramp could still be a place where they end up at the end of it. But all of them in lobby right now.
Ooh, Snow's going pretty deep, pretty quick, actually. I think it might not be in anticipation of this move straight to control room. And this certainly sets up a, if they were to go ramp now off of this from the lobby, which just looks like what they're doing, potentially. Oh, that would be key to survive. In fact, now they're just going absolutely for the hut play. After threatening that lower site, so same kind of philosophy like you were talking about. But the defense from HOTU is looking good. MP9 delivering, dropping in with the USP, looking for the extra one. But the upper site is in control of paiN despite being a man down.
Just only got 10 seconds here. Trying to plant the bomb. NQC and Davideus. Oh, the drop down. He does survive. Yabi up on the high ground as well. Davideus, what a sick conversion. Takes down both the players coming in. I don't know how he did it that quickly. Device going to tap the bomb. He doesn't have the kit either. Going to spray down the first player. Goes back and picks up a kit now, so it's a bit more interesting. NQC, though, with plenty of health on the other side. A Device running out of time here. Going to set up a bit of an aid. Not that it really does anything, and I think NQC's played it very well. Hasn't shown himself at all, and Device has simply run out of time, and out of bullets too, just to add to the misery here. It's a pretty good wallbang. It will be paiN to pick up the round, and I think a couple of really grave mistakes were being made there. Maybe it's hard to judge HOTU for because he did an amazing job getting the double kill, but I think he actually could have just stayed on the hut. The fact that he fell down, because when he dies, falling off the roof or off the hut, there's about like 17 seconds left. If he lives for like 2 or 3 more seconds, it's so much pressure on paiN instead.
Yeah. It's the common thing. We talked about this maybe yesterday as well. Players will get 2 kills, and they'll be in a spot where they can just switch the pace, like slow play it, really milk the position, just try to live and play delay. But oftentimes they just go for 1 more. And in the moment, it's one of the most common tendencies that we see.
Yeah. It's one of the... Ooh. I like the play. I don't know if I like the execution of the idea so much. Device will still take down Davideus. And they keep moving forward. Stare to land a critical deagle shot. Big Uzira blown up. 5 versus 3. This would be pure misery for paiN Gaming if they weren't able to convert the early victory into something more. And even worse, obviously, if Astralis actually get to pick up some of these rifles out here, then the Danes are going to be quite happy with that. Deep smoke here, but the timing for Stare, he's got the right idea. And actually, paiN, they will decide to fall back, but it's a 5-on-3.
Yeah, it's interesting because... Yeah, 3 rifles, like you say, if they detect that the outside has been vacated, there's maybe an argument to try to get pickup guns, but it might be a bit too far away. They'll be a bit too out of position. You'd rather favor being in position as the CTs here, I would imagine, so that you can ensure that you make things as hard for paiN as possible. Although Stare is investigating outside. Already has the M4, so he's going to keep on pushing. So now this is all the information for Astralis to know precisely how to rotate.
He's so smart. Again, he's still, sort of a young player, but the fact that he's able to get the job done, or at least young in terms of his career, really impressive to see. It's down, landing a little bit of a warning shot there, but not much more than that. 8 seconds left that the bomb gets planted here. Damage on the Rixies, and going down. That's all they need. Oh, it's such a wide swing, and with Stare coming in as well. It'll work. Just leading NQC with not much of a chance, unfortunately. It's a 1 versus 5 for him. Expertly played round there for Astralis. The outside aggression, but then falling back so as to not really give them any kind of a fight. And then, like you said, Stare with the deep flank, pretty much giving them the info that they needed.
Yeah, it's one of those flanks too where it's super smart because if Stare dies there, they would still have a 4v3, so it still would be a good advantage. But enough time had passed that they would either be holding there and you know sort of what they're going to be doing, or they're not there. So, and if they're not there, you get this, a round-winning rotation advantage. So, yeah, totally agree. Stare playing this super well so far this game in Nuke, and it's a great start for Astralis. now because paiN are reset on the economy. And I gotta say, as a quick point, you know, nothing against Riggs. DGT was the best performing player, I think it's fair to say, on paiN, even though it was a debut performance at Rivals.
Sure.
So it's gotta hurt for them not to have him on board.
I think you're right. And it must just be as annoying feeling. Richard brought it up on the desk as well, but paiN have had such a struggle getting kind of like a full lineup and being allowed to play with the same squad in a bunch of different tournaments. So just unfortunate. I think in Melbourne it was PGL that was out. Obviously the in-game leader being gone with the whole ear situation going on there. Frustrating, no doubt. Hero AK on Snow, and he will take down Yabby to begin with. Probably not a fight Yabby has to engage with. Gives a slight opening into the round here for paiN. Not necessarily a big one. I think they know that Stair is there, but it might not make a difference as they are just doubled up on this position. Davideus coming into and takes down both players. What a shock and a strong reminder, a sharp reminder perhaps to Astralis that you don't need to be taking those kind of fights.
Yeah, that's the second 2K that was pretty remarkable in execution from Davideus so far this in this matchup. And the previous time it also helped paiN to win that round as well. So we'll see if they can convert now. Stout spotted. And they're controlling the position, opening the door, just trying to slow them down. That's a great pickoff. Buying time for HOTU to get into the action. HOTU now, decon. Now, do we get to rotate out? We do.
Yeah.
So this is actually, I think, a pretty good move with NQZ holding the upper vent rotate. This is beautiful.
The fact that they fell back should probably tell Astralis something anyway. Yeah. It's such a giveaway that they actually decided to leave. It's the fact that someone's probably going to be holding one of these positions. So we'll see if Stau could do anything. Setting up for an incendiary into the corner. Does it spread all the way? Not yet. Oh, NQZ. All it does is keep him nice and warm in that corner, and unfortunately that might be a bit too much for Astralis here, even though you hate to say it, but saving could be a better choice. They do have the kit on HOTU. He's up on the high ground, means he can drop in the last possible second to try and get something done, and maybe Stown could cause a bit of a distraction. There's the kill on the Ricks here. They still got time left for it. NQC gets one. The drop down is there. He's trying to see if he can just run straight into it. He does get the kill, but the incendiary will stop him from getting the defuse. Would have been really fun if that would have worked out. It's a close round, but paiN end up winning it, even though nobody actually survives the round.
Yeah, and Davideus, really being the key factor so far in this map of Nuke for paiN. However, we are kind of going round for round right now, so I'm curious what this next one's going to look like. Economy certainly stretched for both sides. We get a pause coming in, and I am looking forward to seeing what, if any, adjustments might be made for Astralis, because previously we had paiN going outside with the gun round, and so the mind games are now going to be in play. Do we see a stack around a ramp for Astralis, expecting a change of play against a worse buy? It feels like a 50-50 a lot of the times, Anders, with this decision making.
I think something that's of real value to paiN right now is if they can figure out how many people have been playing early on outside for Astralis. That's something that they can definitely use to punish the Danes with quite a bit later on. Because if you contrast this kind of Astralis outside defense to the stuff that we would see out of Falcons, for instance, where very often the only outside defense really is just Nico playing the mini position. And then sometimes MongolZ's going to be really, really far back, up towards like Heaven or a CT spawn or whatever. But for some of these rounds for Astralis, it's a couple of more people out there trying to take some aggressive fights. And that could open up a couple of things too for paiN. But the fact that Astralis are able to lose this round to begin with is honestly kind of disappointing, And it shows you again that even if Yappy at the beginning feels like it's nice to take that kind of a fight, once he dies, it spirals a little bit more. There are more risks taken. Double push from ramp. It kind of just keeps on going.
Keeps on going.
The dominoes, Dan.
Yes.
They keep falling.
Absolutely.
Danish dominoes.
What is it? What's the word in Danish for dominoes?
Same. We just stole it.
Oh wow.
Just pronounced poorly, but that's what we do. That is what we do.
That's your export for the world.
Terrible accents.
Yeah, exactly.
And Lego bricks.
Oh, true. Yeah.
So
that movie's hitting pretty hard right now. It seems the Lego movie.
I don't even know about that, I'm going to be honest, but I'm glad to hear it, you know? We're winning somewhere. Device looking for it. I do love this position, though. I think he's already been spotted, yeah. Oh, still. What a sick play. Tapping away and just ducking down. Yeah, he's going to throw a grenade in anger towards the pistol. He's already escaped. Giggling as he runs into the garage. And a 4 versus 5 here. Huge disruptive play coming out. Spray for snow there. I think that could have worked, but...
The same story as the last time.
Yeah, very much. Just the amount of people that are out there fighting with the M4s.
Yes.
It should be a sign for Payne that maybe it's worth doing something earlier on to try and see if you can find some leverage elsewhere on the map. 5 versus 3, and it's not a surefire thing here for Astralis, but you don't want to see them lose a round like this one.
Certainly not. And for Payne, it gets so risky now. Okay, it's a good kill. Biggest area going down quite low in the effort. Still not super clear how to play this one, and look at the movement from Astralis in the meantime. Oh, a little bit of team damage there. And now it's just NQZ down lower by himself without the bomb. So that is obviously kind of a big problem. And
that is a challenge.
Yeah. And it's interesting, Anders, because I was talking about the mind games. You know, do Astralis still have a lot of players outside? Do they expect Payne to try to take it, do a fast ramp take? And both teams did the exact same approach and same result. So I wonder if this will impact Payne in terms of where, I think, like you already said, where they try to get the early edge in the map. Do they just de-emphasize the outside and maybe think about put more pressure towards ramp and upper?
I mean, if nothing else, they might be forced away from some of the outside play at the moment just because they won't have the money to buy the smokes. And without smokes, you're probably not going to survive that yard experience.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if we're going to see them kind of, you know, yeah, just be almost pushed away from it in a round like this one. Maybe they will still throw some of the smokes, but I don't know if they can afford. They have 4 of them, so it's not so bad. But yeah, just to highlight again, they do this a lot in their demos, where they sort of push ramp and then go back to the A-bomb site fairly quickly. It is a thing that Payne enjoy doing here. We're going to see just a single wall right now. Not committing more smokes to the project at the moment. And actually, for once, Astralis are a little bit further back, so kind of more of a normal experience for all involved.
Yeah, more passive indeed. Perhaps expecting Payne to, you know, use util a little bit differently. We haven't seen the Molotov secret that would have prevented some of those picks from Stair that we've seen. Well, so maybe it was Storm. Stair, Storm.
Yeah, Stown.
Down.
So sorry.
Sorry.
I've just gone with
my bad.
I've just gone with Stown as well. It's just it's not, you know, it's not worth it.
Are we doing Yabby or Jabby?
Either one works for me. I'm happy with either one.
Right, okay.
You know? No one's confused when we say it. You know, we all know what we're talking about. 50 seconds, by the way. They are going to go down. It's Device waiting below. He's already thrown out his own incendiary, so he's just down to the single flashbang here. I don't know what I feel about this position. I can see this going horribly wrong. 20 bullets here. Unless you get some very fast kills, this could be awkward. I guess the upside is no one's going to be peeking that exact angle, but yeah, now he's being hunted down. They don't have any Molotovs to get rid of him, and he's actually winning the fight against Davideus. I would hate to play in this position. Yabby's showing up at the same time. Device to get the kill onto NQC. This has worked remarkably well. They definitely know something that I do not. Rix having an awkward fight and running out of bullets, and they're all running out of time collectively. 12 seconds left. Rix is going to be found one way or another here. Hooksy stomping through, but yeah, no time left in the round. Maybe get the M4 if you can along the way. I'm really intrigued to see that they ended up playing it that well. It just looked like such an uncomfortable fight. I could just, maybe it's just me. I couldn't imagine myself choosing to have that kind of fight, but
yeah, especially with the M4s, M4A1S in particular, it does feel awkward, but yeah, worked out really well. It's interesting too because, you know, Payne opted to play a very slow round, and again, because Nuke is a very different map for the CTs and the way that rotations work, there's actually less pressure on the CTs to feel uncomfortable and want to rotate if you don't have a really good reason. Whereas other maps, like Anubis is a good one, if you feel really uncomfortable and you might want to start moving. So just playing a slow round by itself does doesn't have too much of an impact, I think, on how the CTs will hold, or it's not too much of a discipline challenge. Whereas, you know, in this position now, paiN, they're in a spot where they need to certainly mix things up here, because I think Astralis feels super comfortable now.
I think that when you can force the CTs to rotate on this map is basically when you get the yard smokes and they're not sure if anyone has gone down or not.
Yeah.
Like that question being asked is the thing that could sometimes force people to move around a lot. But yeah, otherwise you're right. Like why you don't have to do too much of anything here. Device does go down after a really prolonged battle. Everyone's kind of like jiving for a kill.
I understand the confidence from Device, but it's also like the one win condition for paiN is getting fights, because they have actually no capacity to get onto a site unless Astralis were to just give them open fights. That's the only way that paiN can win in this particular round. So yeah, I don't hate that Device is doing that, but it's just one of those things, right?
Yeah, but Stown now, it's such an awkward fight. HOTU's going to go down inside with just a single kill. They know that Stown is out here, so they can just try and keep him occupied for a long time. The bomb getting planted as well. NQC holding on the one side. Stair trying to get in and save the day once again. He's already got 9 kills, and Stown has been pretty much useless in this half, or in this round at least. It's going to be Stair to get the kill on Big Vincere, but honestly, that is Astralis doing as much as they can to throw away the round, really.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where, you know, you have to obviously have the awareness of what the buy is for the other side. Because Device, you know, peaking and challenging there has actually been pretty important to the success of some of the rounds. He's been hitting his shots. Yeah. When you're against pistols, if you're trying to like really maximize your success and look at the win conditions, like we said, you actually just can turtle in sights. And especially on Nuke, there's actually nothing that they can do.
It's also just a risk-reward kind of thing, right? There's not, even for Stown at the end, like he's pushing up to fight a couple of people on the silo. If he wins, okay, fine. They don't have any Glocks in play in the round. Like, who even cares? Like, it's just there's just not that much of a victory to be gained, really. So
yeah,
a bit unfortunate. They've already had the experience once in the previous round, obviously, where Yabby was having to fight through the squeak door and ended up going down. But Astralis, they're also 6-2. We can't be too angry. We have to be reasonable.
All right. Okay. All right. Well. Okay, this will be a good round to see if we get an adjustment, but the problem is Device has picked up the AWP now, so this is a dynamic shift on the CT side as well. So, Stown playing mini. Device is going to appear. I was going to say he's going to appear around Secret, but he's playing it very passive at the moment. Around just behind that Secret position.
Yeah, he thought somebody might have dropped. There's the double wall again. So, just to reiterate, if you do watch enough paiN demos, you're going to notice that they are big fans of that kind of an execute. Snow trying to get the wrap around here. It is being heard already. HOTU with the kill inside, and then the rest just follow on through. Great defense from Astralis. I'm a bit surprised at the fact that paiN didn't make that work more. I think that those kind of mini wraps where you get just one T player in. I guess Snow did sort of take the long way around. There is another version where you actually just fall off the roof on mini and jump in. It can be really hard to hold for the CTs, no question about it, but they make quick work of it. Snow, I think, has got 1 kill so far. The fact is, it's really only Davideus that's been doing any kind of work. Maybe NQC, but...
Yeah, it's really... The mini wrap portion is certainly... There's a lot of risk there if the team goes in fast from the upper side, because you're really pressured to support that. Yeah. And so you're gonna have timings on yourself, like we saw there, that you got to worry about. They could come from Secret, they could come from, you know, where we saw. So yeah, lots of potential problems on just that part of it. But I think more importantly for Astralis, they didn't show the AWP, they didn't, and so they can run that setup again and feel like really comfortable.
How they, in general, just feel great about it. 3 AKs on the CT side. They have quite a lot of money to work with. And it's also paiN's map pick on Nuke. So Astralis, even if nobody knows what the future holds, who's going to buy it?
I'll do it, Anders.
Yeah?
I'm ready with the loan.
I think that would be that could be an exciting new future. Dan back in charge.
Okay, well, Hero AK on NQC. In the lobby, he's got the bodies, he's got the minions ready to lay down their lives for the cause. Get him into a position to trade. Oh, it's nice entry. cleanup pretty decent. All right. Just as your preferred round should go, and is nice and fast on the pistols.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good idea for Payne. It's as good as anyone you could have come up with, because it is just about getting the first couple of kills. I mean, that's the power of those A rushes on Nuke, is really if you get like 2 entry kills, it's probably done. 1 and you're like 60% of the way there. Again, though, good recovery for Astralis. That is the kind of round that's very losable. So some credit to them as well. It's 8-2, setting up the early grenades out in the yard. It is a bit of a classic now. We all know it. Device, more forward position. Oh, it looks like he had the opportunity. Maybe gonna see him once, but couldn't quite connect. I'm not saying MongolZ will get that shot, but probably would. Oh.
Damn, it's like that, is it? Well, I mean, this is the first time Device has actually showed his ult, because he's had it for like 2 rounds already, and just no one has gone outside or secret or anything.
I love this. I mean, it is risky, but it can be very, very hard to stop if you're on the other side. But see, the spray is immaculate. He's taken 2 of them down already. Stown trying to get into the help. He actually will finish the second kill with the M4A1. Snow ends up getting dropped, still at 3 kills right now, along with Rix and Vincere, who's at 2 and 3 as well. ZenQC, pretty much impossible to win this one. He's trapped in the corner, and once the smoke fades, he's dead. Just waited on by Device at the end of it. So fist bumps coming out. Astralis, they're just running through this game right now. I'm impressed.
Yeah, first few rounds a little bit sketch, but now it's just we're chilling, I feel like, for sure. And it's unfortunate, again, for Payne. I'm sure that it's hard to be too intricate on the utility game, and that does hinder your, I think, capacity to get those edges outside especially. And because, again, outside, it does feel like a good spot for Tease to gain something, but now the orbs in play on Device, it certainly adds an extra layer of difficulty.
I mean, they've made so little headway on the map, Payne, from a tactical point of view. That's kind of hard to discuss, like, there's been so few things that have actually worked. Then, it's probably hard for them as well to piece together what is the next thing that we can do. I'm still surprised that we haven't seen more of those ramp fakes, but we definitely have seen the smoke walls out here. Snow trying to see if he can walk in front of it, which is actually not something that Payne do that much, but Snow does get a bit of success, or at least they get the kill on to Stown anyway, reveals his position. So the 1-for-1 trade, even if Snow dies, it's kind of worth it.
You have problems still here for your Payne. The outside challenge comes on through, trying to beat the timing of the smoke. HOTU. But now they walk through the smoke into Mini for NQZ. Finds the player on rafters. Nice return fire from Yabi, and there's the drop, the re-smoke. Device, very defensive outside. He runs the risk of being completely out of play at the moment, because he is being circumvented once again into Mini, and Yabi becomes the very important player here for Astralis, turning at the wrong moment. And now what do Astralis do on the retake?
Yeah, big question. They do have some utility to play around with. Stair very nearly getting himself killed before they even got into it at all. Nice little setup with the flashbang there. He's going to get the kill, and Rix will be going down right afterwards. Device just finds him in the open. Vincere alone to try and hold on to get at least one more round on the board. It's a nice headshot to begin with, but the grenades are raining in. It does soften him up a bit, and now Device, he's pulled out the pistol, I think, on the other side, trying to see if he can hunt him down. He's real close here, and Vincere is already tagged up. The Tech-9 will get the job done, and Device, with the kit in his pocket, he's going to be able to win this one. So a close round, but again, it goes the way of the Danes. It's just a beautiful first half for them.
Yeah, definitely. It's just, again, just couple annoying positions here and there, but over time we see just, I suppose, just a lack of answers, a lack of adjustments possible for Payne. Unfortunate series of circumstances, because they had to make it happen with the individual skill. And it's actually interesting from that point of view that we have Nuke, because Nuke can be quite difficult to get those spots. There are other maps that are better for something like that, where if you have less tactical, depth, maybe a Dust 2 is going to work out.
Sure.
But if you can keep it simple, the gunfights can be what it comes down to, or maybe in some cases also a Mirage as well to a certain extent. So, Nuke, a challenge.
And just the fact that Davideus was trying to do so much work on his own. It's also, it's a lot for him to try and drag the rest of the team through. You do need, Snow, NQC as well. I actually think is, you know, weirdly one of the problems Brazil has that there's not enough good AWP players for some reason. I think NQC is definitely the name that people always bring up when that conversation comes up, and I think for good reason. Like he is good, but obviously it didn't have any impact. Like I don't even know if he had the AWP at all in the first half, but if he did, it wasn't something that was worth talking about. So 10-2 down. Here we go.
Yes, paiN on the CT side. A couple dualies in play. See what they're able to do with it. Astralis opting for the outside approach. Yabi behind the door as well.
They're going to wrap. So they're going to be jumping a lot of people down onto the mini roof, and then they're going to probably fly through the smoke. Yep, into the flash as well. Really sick setup for it. Davideus, though, trying to slow them down. HOTU back into it with a headshot. Davideus goes down. Snow checking that there's nobody else in lobby. Yes, they do try and run onto the bomb side here. The dualies, good work on him so far. He's got a couple of bullets left, but forced to reload. Down, picking up the bomb again. 3 versus 3. Still no plant actually happening. The Danes just keep on fighting. Rix is up on the high ground, low on health. NQC. And there's a bit of a stalemate in the round. They have so much time here, Astralis, that they don't really have to jump to get the bomb line. That is a nice shot. Fair play to NQC. Down is down, and now it's just HOTU alone versus both of them. 50 seconds. He's picked up the bomb. Unfortunately, yeah, the vent isn't blown out, so if nothing else, he has to kind of really show he couldn't like slowly walk down the ladder. Has to make it known that he's there, but the fact that Rix is already low just makes it a bit awkward, perhaps. HOTU making a run for it. That's a smart play, not sticking at the back of the site. If HOTU wanted to win that one, he probably has to escape in that way, so it's a really nice idea, but it's NQC to the rescue, and it will be paiN Gaming to win the second half pistol.
Yeah, they managed to make it work. CT economy booming for the moment. And we'll have to see what their approach is on this anti... Well, actually, it might not be an anti-eco. I mean, I think if you're Astralis, you know, Force Bio is going to go pretty hard in this round.
I think they will.
Pretty hard.
I can't remember the last time I've seen a team sort of get the bomb plant on the T side and not... Obviously, can't get the bomb plant on the CT side anyway, so redundant to say.
Not in the MR12 era.
It's just what people do now. Scout on device, though. That's exciting.
Yeah. Scout is...
I actually think on Nuke it's super viable. Like, if you go up onto the silo or even out of the yard just here, a lot of different ways to make that work.
Definitely be fun for him because he didn't get a lot of action, I feel like, on the first half. With the sniper, at least.
Yeah, he had it for a long time.
Yeah.
Without anyone really running into him. It just looks like this is going to end up at B one way or another with, you know, potentially a couple of players that are going to be, or maybe just one, and Yabi, who's going to be left in lobby. Let's see the rest walking their way down. Even without the smokes in the yard, there's nobody to spot them. And that's because NQC is playing really far back in the garage. He's basically holding for another kind of split to the A bomb site, which is not happening.
Yeah, and this is fine to play it this way for paiN. They just have to know. They just have to have enough time to know.
They don't know, Dan.
And adjust the positioning. That's the problem. Yeah, that's why you would normally have the spot outside, like you said.
They just absolutely don't. Well, now they do. The breaking of the window in case of emergency. And that absolutely is for paiN Gaming, though. Not for Astralis. The bomb going to be planted at the back of the site here. The rotation is actually very hard to even get done properly. There are 2 players for Astralis up here to try and control rotations. Rix, I love the idea of pushing in, even if they want to go for a retake, just clearing out all this space is essential, because otherwise they're going to get shot in the back or in the front by HOTU. What a deagle to take down Biguzera. 3 versus 3. And that bomb is ticking away, though. Scout in the back for device. He's got the right lineup for it. Body shot onto Davideus. It's not the fun kind either, not the Ibiza kind, but one that'll leave you straight dead. Snow and NQC left, and I don't know what there's nothing they can do. They're walking away. It's going to be 11 rounds for Astralis.
Yeah, it's a tough one because so we talked about it in the first half that it makes a lot of sense to void outside, but you can void outside and not take fights, but you can index for information, because that's all you really need. It's just the info, and you can get info like pretty safely. And if you get the info and you just get the rotations in the right spot, even just having someone like who's a Vents player that can know to kind of jiggle and throw smoke down, something to buy time, you know, anything really. But the problem is, like you said, they just allow Astralis to just walk on and get a plant without any notification.
It's funny because we saw the same thing in Copenhagen just a week ago, where Mouse had the same kind of error on the CT side, where they didn't even know that anyone had gone downstairs, and by the time they realized, it's too late. You just have no way to rotate in time. Yeah, it's just that's basically when you find out. It's like the windows down there. It's like, oh damn, they're on the bomb site, guys. Hold up. It's like one moment everyone's on the radio saying, I thought you were holding.
Yeah.
I mean, it is the logical thing about what paiN is doing is that they're basically trying to deny any fights for Astralis. They're saying, well, you're not going to get like an early kill on any one of us, and that's good. But then nobody was holding B, and that's bad.
Yes, it is.
Oh, well, this is something else, though. Tapping away is NQC, just deleting a couple of players outside, Device and HOTU, without really a chance to respond. That was really cool. Bomb is making its way down. Stem going to be in charge of it. And still a dangerous round here for paiN that they must win. Any dream of a comeback has to start with a bit of a bang in this round.
Oh, that's a big kill to get. Yabi and Stare, the players to try to get this 2v4 hold now. But now it's a 1v4 hold for Yabi. Nice headshot, kicking things off. So many players to hold this angle, though. Has to be so excellent with the next kill, but biggest error. Able to spray the window down and find the defuse for the team. But it all feels oh so labored here for paiN right now.
Yeah.
It's a long comeback. They definitely look, you know, like they are focused, of course, and in it right now to win it. But obviously, it's just very difficult. There's a lot of issues.
It's the kind of round where if NQC doesn't get this done, then it's the same kind of bomb plant down below, but now there's another player in the yard for Astralis, which can stop rotations and everything else. So it's really awesome, but it's still scary that it's Davideus and NQC, and then Snow, Vigusira, and Rix are they're not doing anything, not enough here.
Yeah.
I like the speed in this round, straight onto the A-bomb site. Tech9 from Bugsy is going to be taking down Snow and Bomb. A little bit delayed in the bomb plant here. They're not quite sure where to actually plant. Smoke getting blown open once again, but there's a secondary one to stop anyone from spotting it. Hoaxy goes down. Device sneaking around. The timing is so sick here. Easy kill onto Davideus. Picks up the AK. He knew he'd already heard the footsteps running away, so that's a high IQ play for Device, selecting his targets in the right order. He could have gone for the second player there first, but the fact that he got the kill, picked up the AK, and kept it going is so cool. Rix goes down. NQC realizes it can't be won in this one, so it will be Astralis landing on 12 rounds. And NQC, I don't even think he's going to be able to save the AWP here. Yeah, hunts it down.
Yeah, what a play from Device. Absolutely agree. So good. And I mean, Astralis have looked pretty good so far against paiN. I love the patience there from Device to find that moment. And it's unfortunate too, because I felt like NQZ was doing some great work, you know, laying down that fire from the heaven position. He got some good kills, and he just needed the mini player to kind of activate so that some fire would be drawn towards mini, and then NQZ could find a moment to get out into position to maybe make it happen. But Device playing spoiler, and now 12-4 here for Astralis, looking to close down Nuke. And all we have is MP9s, essentially, for paiN.
Definitely not what you want to start a comeback with, but they don't have a choice. This is what the funds will currently allow for. Also, CZ 75 on Vigusira. Rare occurrence in modern-day Counter-Strike. You don't get to see it. I think for good reason. I can't even think of a single position ever where you'd want the CZ over the 5.7 or even the P250, in my opinion. But I have to say that because I don't think I've ever got a kill with a CZ 75.
Not even in 2016? 2015?
No. Truly, I just don't think mine works. It's possible I just got like one that doesn't work. Okay.
Ooh, entries for days for Hooksy.
The Giga Chat is back. which I know Richard is going to appreciate. 16 kills here on HOTU. Bit of a highlight performance for him. Device ends up taking out Biguzira and Snow and Rix in a 2 versus 5 to try and hold on to the map, which you would have to be severely delusional to think that's going to be happening. Rix goes down. It's a follow-up round at the end here. 13-4 in favor of Astralis. It's just a brilliant performance. They've got to feel so confident right now.
Yeah, super straightforward there for Astralis. Very well done indeed. Good start to the series. And now it's time to toss it back to the desk.
I mean, pace round's always been a coin flip, but they do have you know, a particular kind of apps pop that they do, which a lot of teams will do later on. But I feel like doing it in the pistol round is especially fun. Popping out into the pit and getting some flashes in through middle. I hope they do something like that because it's just fun to watch.
Yeah.
But otherwise, there is the super common just be run up banana, try and get something done there. We're going to the dam. We're ready for it. Payne, yeah, they will be on that side. But
yes.
A lot of smokes being picked up here and a couple of HEs too. So.
All right, let's see if we can get off to a good start here for Payne. Nuke is far away in the distant past. We don't have to think about it anymore.
Already
Format has been expelled.
So much more likely it's the apps thing. One, the double flashbangers in the middle. You could see how they're moving. So they are definitely gearing up for that. They can still change their mind depending on what they see. But I wouldn't be surprised if they get close enough with 3 people in the apps like this, then you're going to be seeing Vincere. He's either going to smoke towards the library and then, you know, Moto mini pit, and then they're going to be throwing flashbangs over. This is so sick.
For Jabby, a little push for info. Banana sees nothing. Instant rotate. 4 stack now on the A site.
Yeah, they're coming for it. Actually, the flank from Yabby, oh, they're going to catch them in the middle of the setup. That's the bomb as well. What a disaster. Yabby with the execute onto NQC. They were going to do it. They actually were going to do the app spot.
I'm sorry,
I feel robbed. I was excited. Why
like a
Astralis?
level of investment from you there? You've like literally been setting up for like 60 seconds straight. It's just completely denied.
This is why we can't have nice things. It always comes. Somehow it's always Astralis' fault, no matter what it is that's going on. It just always is.
Well, it was interesting to hear from HOTU. You know, he said in the interviews, it's like, as long as we don't play against ourselves, and you know that can really be decoded into like 2 areas: being able to execute the same level of competency in the, you know, the individual performance, the strategy, the team play that you had in your scrims and your practice leading into the event, and then additionally being able to ensure that your game doesn't collapse on an individual team level from the mental side of things as well. These are like the 2 areas.
Well, here's something else to consider. If I was able to figure out what kind of pistol round Payne we're running, it's possible that the Astralis were too, and that's why Yabby was able to push down as you know, as far as he was and kind of you know, felt confident in taking the risk. So second round, and obviously without a bomb plant even in sight for Payne, they are going to be down to clocks.
I will say though, so in one way you love to see the deep banana play, but in this round, that's actually an invitation, I think, to tease, because oftentimes the CTs will play close up there, so you can know that there's a possibility of a close fight. A pop flash, rush through, you get a couple kills quick, you might win the round off that. So sometimes you got to be cautious with that opening that Astralis have, but there's no challenge for it. So just like the last round, Astralis know exactly what's going on.
Yeah, they've got so much control here. Wide swing into the middle. That's exactly where you want the M4A4. The extra bullets, just making it no issue whatsoever. Device getting a couple of kills, getting himself warmed up a little bit. It's a nice and quick round. Moving into the third one, Payne are going to be able to buy something more interesting, which we love to see. But yeah, Astralis, it's such a good start to the tournament for them.
Yes.
Maybe not playing the strongest teams just yet, so I guess we can't get too ahead of ourselves. We can't get too excited.
Yeah. I mean, this is the great thing about the Swiss system. Every team gets sort of a fair crack at the whip, and you really get to see the level of the teams that bring into the tournament. And you also get somewhat of a warm-up, some time to kind of get a feel for the setup.
Right.
Get a feel for how you want to play some of these maps. And that's kind of the territory Astralis is certainly in right now, as we see the apartments take coming in from Snow. So just a default 3-2.
Deep nade on Banana. Look at the damage on NQC and Davideus.
4 stack on top mid, so Astralis not thinking that, just actually kind of gambling this one. This is risky because Payne could have walked up to top Banana. They could be just getting a pace on the B side, but Astralis seem to know.
Yeah, it's there's a huge upside here, which is if they go B and kill HOTU, all they lose is the M4, or not the M4, the MP9. And they're just going to keep the other 4 people at the A-bomb side. So I think this is going to be, well, now they're rotating back. But if that had happened earlier, I think it would have been a full-on Jame kind of round where they just say, never mind.
Davideus heard the run through CT spawn, and at that instant, we saw the rotation for paiN back to top mid. So they're playing off that rotation information. It's now back to a 2-3 setup for Astralis. 40 seconds left. paiN for the top mid take.
And a bit of an issue here. Stair still has the incendiary. He's actually got it pulled right now, so he's going to throw it down towards a short position, but they're going to wrap around. It's a nice idea. Counter flash comes out. Deep one from Stair. And Vincere didn't stand a chance. They're trying to wrap into it here, but this pit position is so hard to get rid of. Backup is coming as well. paiN, I think they missed a timing window. Booksy comes punched out of the library and taking down Snow almost immediately. Rick's here, nothing that he could do either. Stair will take him down. And Stair set up so much of this round. That deep flashbang that he had, and the reason why Stair can focus so much on that wraparound is because he's already cleared the other side with his own incendiary. So he's kind of like, he's positioned himself in a way where he knows he can take that fight. That's so sick for Astralis. And again, that's kind of the bonus round. What they do on top of it is actually steal 3 AKs, and they buy the AWP as well.
Yeah, and I really liked what paiN did. You know, they actually kept the round fairly simple, but I felt like they were kind of punishing Astralis for that early setup, and by just investigating and then hearing the rotation. I like the response, and they created a world where they were, you know, playing against 3 players on A as opposed to 4, and they also are able to get the entry towards Connector. So the beginnings of that round really looked good for paiN. So a lot of upside, but an even better performance in the following ensuing recovery, just as you mentioned.
Stair just doing so much good work. And keeping himself alive, staying down. He set up the kill for Stown at the beginning. It's fantastic.
Love this. Yes. I feel like I haven't seen this as much lately, at least at Rivals, where we were through this. We didn't see a lot of aggressive apps plays against the pistols.
And they're flashed in by a Device who's actually playing at the arch position. So, and you're right, we didn't see that at all, and it is such a cool trick. But I guess that's part of the, sometimes the meta, it just switches and it, you know, one strategy kind of goes out the window for a while.
I mean, if you're looking for it as the T side, then it's really devastating. But if you're not, it's devastating for you. So, like you say, it's a meta thing. And now the position for paiN is just really rough. You know, 4 players against the full buy. It's a 2-3 safe setup from Astralis. Killing time with the incendiary.
The normal thing to do here is probably to go B with Tech-9s and pistols. Maybe you try and put a little bit of pressure on here just to make sure they don't know for sure, but I feel like ending up at the B-bomb side is such a normal thing to try and approach.
We almost had to rotate there because Astralis did the info play top mid and saw nothing, so... but they were all just standing there.
Shot in the back is Davideus. Don't know if I like Device sticking around, but I guess it's a confidence kind of thing. Where it's like, I'm gonna win every single fight. We'll give up the AWP. NQC doesn't hit the shot there. I think it might have been his one chance to get back into the round. Oh, he's gonna throw it. So petty. I can't even have the money here.
I can't believe you've done this.
That's like $4,750 just.
There you go. I mean, Anders, you love to see it because I agree with you. Device does know well that he needs to be that deep there.
Yeah.
And he is just going for the kills.
Did they steal
and he
it
gets
back?
Punished.
Did they steal it back? I feel like they have more money than they should have.
They would have had to have boosted, I think.
I think they might have. I'm not going to lie. I think they might have because just looking at the money.
They tried to boost it? How did they?
Yeah.
Oh, they did just barely reach it.
Yeah, the math. Oh, I did the math in my head then, in a super quick fashion.
Quick maths. Okay, more aggressive banana opening for paiN, trying to challenge. Gotta be careful. It's hard to know which way the kills will go, but it's a 1-for-1. You have to argue that favored the T side, but Storm taking matters into his own hands. Going aggressive in mid, understanding that there's a lot of players towards banana. It's risky, Anders, but it pays off for the Danes.
Yeah, you're right. Risky and also a really ugly fight from Stown, right? That wasn't good spray. That was pure chaos. And yet he does come out on top somehow. Bomb being brought back. paiN not enjoying this, but you got a lot of choice here from Astralis, right? Moving up into the apartments.
Yeah, staying active. It's so effective. And now Vincere and MongolZ, all that's left. Flashbang does its job, but the trade's there for Device. Oh, a whiff there, and suddenly, out of nowhere, into a 1v2 after plant. Payne with a chance.
Oh, he's already being shut down. Okay.
Damn it.
he just barely made it around the corner. It's a good wallbang, though. But the proactive play coming up from Astralis and finding Rix over on the one side and realizing there's nobody else there. Really good stuff. Device also, so for him to get the kill the first time around into the bomb, he has to step into the Molotov. It is such a good, it's a good amount of damage to take to get the kill. So just a small little detail. 5 in a row for Astralis to pick it up at the beginning here. Stair has not even died yet. He's 7-0. Down is 7-1. Let's not talk about the kills on the Payne side, though. Let's not do that. I don't want to be that kind of person. I want to be a nice person.
You don't have to be. You can make a different choice. You have free will. I mean, some would argue maybe that you don't. I don't know if that's you, but...
Triggered Sam Harris if he's tuning in. He's going to be super mad.
He seems generally triggered all the time anyway. So.
That's true. Deep nades landing there on 3 players for Payne. I think you said it earlier, but it basically turns the M4s into AKs when you get that kind of damage, which is rather nice. Running through the fire, it's probably worth it. There's down, proving that. Instant dink onto NQC, takes him down. Rix with a good return, but Stair back in the pits, only for a second though. Gonna get the 1 kill. HOOXi hiding in the corner. Snow trying to check it, but no rifle out for Rix, and that's gonna get him killed. He couldn't get the instant refrag there. 1 versus 1. I like the Molotov from Davideus, just trying to make sure. It's Yabi on the other side. And a must-win clutch coming in here for the Payne side. Davideus not sure. Oh, he comes back right in time. I don't think he was even really ready for it, but 3 kills in the round. Maybe he'll save Payne a lot of trouble here. They have to get back on the board to try and win this back.
Yeah, and that AWP can go to NQZ, so that's really nice as well. Yes, and that was so close. That was so close. Really, again, it's some of these individual performances, and time and again we have come back to Davideus. So tricky to deal with that fight around the short pillar. Snow, that kill from Snow too on Stair. It was like an instant headshot on the pit player.
Yeah.
If you don't get that, the levels of delay and just trickiness of that fight, it's just horrendous. And just like staying alive for an extra couple seconds, that would have bought the time for what was, the final CT in the 1v1.
Yes.
That CT would have been maybe in a spot where that afterplant wouldn't have been possible. So all of these, the delay really adds up.
Yeah, it all comes together really, really nicely for them in that round. Early kills, pretty swift, not really slowing it down. It's really not too late either for Payne to bring it back. I know it's a bit of a gloomy situation because they did get beat up on Nuke, and that was just a very one-sided game. And they're kind of getting beat up at the beginning here, but it doesn't have to keep going this way. 5-1, I mean, you can recover it. NQC, you said it. AWP taken from the previous round straight into an opening on this one. Device goes down. And still 2 people at the B bomb site. Maybe you just make even more of a gamble here, and you just hope that Payne end up. I typically don't like these 2A, 2B when you're playing 4v5. I sometimes prefer like much more of a gamble and say just go 3. Yeah, that's what they're maybe slowly doing.
Yeah, I think just protect the AWP as well. Just have most of the players with the AWP so that if they do push into the AWP, best chance to keep it alive. Also, best chance to win the round.
3 people at the B-bomb site. I'm so happy that they're doing this. I think this displays a really strong understanding of what could be done. Deep does hear it. Yabi, does he want to peek it? It's so tempting because you hear just the toes being singed out in front. Some pressure on. But they're going to know. They're going to know that there's 2 people there. So Payne might just thinking about walking away. NQC gets taken down before he can really escape. There's nobody at the A-bomb site, though. They got the kill over there onto Stair. So the round is still going to be with Payne, but at least they get to save the rifles. Actually, 2 AWPs.
Yeah, and it was interesting there too because there's a lot of confidence on those banana fights from Yabi, who's really trying to find a 4v4 equalizer like much sooner. And had that been the case, the round's kind of back on. And also, if he dies, it still feels like they can get a decent save on the AWP. And having 2 AWPs online now because of the kill that he got is like actually crazy value from Yabi. But yeah, back in for paiN. Also, you know, to look at the positives for them, being able to win with 4 players is going to give them hopefully a bit of a buffer on that economy should they lose the following round, so that they can continue in winning ways. But
it's definitely a big step in the right direction here. It is interesting to see how we haven't seen. I mean, obviously the most normal thing you could see on a map like Inferno is just take banana, execute with smokes to CT spawn and to, you know, the coffins, and just go for that. Like that's what we see all the time, and we haven't really seen a round like that. They've tried it once and kind of got shut down, but we'll see if paiN can find enough stability here to try and get into just normal Inferno stuff. Because it's nice sometimes to do the stuff that you should. Everyone knows how it works. There's nothing surprising about it. Got to win the battle on banana here to begin with. Grenades being exchanged because Sierra's so flashed, but it just doesn't matter. That's the problem with throwing flashes on banana, is that the crosshairs are already in the right position. Yeah. So, yeah, they're going to be blind, but they just have to shoot.
Yeah, it's really true.
Don't have to see to shoot, Dan.
That is also true. That is also true.
It's generally recommended, but...
Yeah, we like to keep things dangerous.
Well,
and the freeze here from paiN is you know, if you have the time to do it, it's not bad. And especially if you feel like you missed the timing, then you might as well do it. So this stack though, this stuff. I mean, it will take a pretty crazy overperformance / oversight for paiN.
Yep, but that could be happening. Now, let's see if they throw the elevated smoke again, and if Stair can body block the smoke one more time. Because he body blocked the first one.
Yeah.
If he does it again, it's kind of interesting.
So Device, if he actually gets a pick, if they go top mid to find info, they might not use a nade. Device could get a pick, and that would send them into B most likely, because they wouldn't want to re-challenge the AWP, I would imagine. Well, this could be about to happen. Let's see. Smoke goes down, though. That's perfect that they had that. So Device... not going to be... Oh, that was a little tricky, but is going to go and save that. But yeah, if they don't smoke him off there, the round gets really interesting, Anders.
I actually have a question for Yanko or Blair or anyone else that wants to chime in. I wonder if they can see paiN that smoke isn't landing up top. They must be able to, because I've seen this before where they try and throw the smoke and when it gets blocked, they fall back. And so it does feel like there's a strong... I actually haven't checked it myself, but I'm assuming you must be able to tell the difference from basically from this angle that MongolZ is in, because it's so suspicious that they do it.
Trying to get rid of some guns, Anders.
Yeah, they should. paiN back in the game a little bit here. Getting some good rounds in. Device hoping to keep the AWP alive. They are close, but I don't think they're going to be able to find him here. No! That's down to the last second. How cool is that?
Huge.
I do just love how, you know, just like how petulant it is to keep like throwing that smoke down. Like they keep trying to elevate it, and he's like, no smokes allowed up here. But yeah, I have to assume, I actually haven't gone to check this in demos myself. I have to assume that is basically what the T's are testing in that moment. They're like, is there somebody boosted? If there is, then probably there's also another player, you know, inside of the site.
We need the nerds to investigate.
Bring out the nerds.
So, Astralis have not... the rounds in which they've been losing is the early pickoffs they've been giving up at top banana. So I can only imagine in the next gun round we'll see maybe more of a passive approach there.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely seems like it's suddenly going the way off the T side. Nicely done. Yeah, round is already over. They had one M4 coming into this one anyway, so they're going to try and keep that one alive. That's going to be 4 in a row. paiN getting.
Yep.
Nice comeback.
Yeah, it really is. And there is really a few different ways Astralis can go with this. They could try to get aggressive, I think, in the apartments, because paiN have been opening up with a 3-2 often. So that's one of the reasons why going aggressive apartments is nice, because usually you'll get somebody going in from, you know, the stairs side, and you'll get someone going in from like the jump up side. So you can kind of find like a staggered timing where you can isolate it. So if you like have rifle support for an AWPer, you can have like a really nice pick off on those players, and that could be an option, Anders, or they could just play really passive, which has also worked.
Many teams have done it. I mean, I've been enjoying the aggression out of them, but like you said, if it stops working, then you really can't keep doing it, can you? Yeah, running into some economic woes on the Danish side here, and it's slowed down the momentum quite a bit. It's a fun fact for you, Dan. Inferno is the map with the most animals on it.
Is it really? How far ahead is it?
I think by quite a lot. We've got chickens, there's a dog somewhere, there's a horse somewhere. Oh, you can't see them, but you can hear them. There are humans. There's like 4 different kinds of animals.
Oh, is there 4 different kinds of humans? That's what you guys said.
No, Dan. But I appreciate the fact that you try to open that door nonetheless. Trying to get me fired really early on into the partnership. Rix moving forward. All right. That's a very nice timing. I actually think that's a sick idea to walk in with no utility and just, you know, basically try and get the kill right away. Now, it did backfire on them, unfortunately, but the idea was definitely there. Bomb still in the middle. Device here in a corner. Now, they do have a Molotov to check him, but Davideus, does he want to try and throw it here? Because if not, then there is a chance. Even if not, just Device being here is great information.
Yeah, look at the activity from his teammates too. Re-clearing short. Again, we like this from Astralis so far. Getting active, asking questions, retaking positions. And now look at the position paiN in. The crossfire is going to be a problem here. Beautiful crossfire indeed.
The disappointing thing, I suppose, for paiN is they had utility to stop the crossfire. Whether they throw it to the left or the right doesn't even matter. Just throw it somewhere. Bigozera cannot get the double spray down. Polite claps coming out from Rogers, trying to help them out.
Yeah, and you know, I think one of the things that I'm enjoying so much about this proactive play from Astralis in these like mid-round scenarios is that it shows really good communication amongst the players, because you know those are dynamic spots. You have to, someone has to make a call and say, okay, let's retake this.
Yeah.
And they formulate those plans so far from what we've seen very quickly. And they could be protocol-based, but you know, it's hard to say. But either way, when you're doing this, if the other team isn't as quick thinking as you, you get an advantage.
Yeah, it's just, it makes it so much more fun as well to watch a team on the CT side when they do this kind of thing. Going to be another fast attempted A play coming out. The bomb is far away, but it's the same exact idea. I don't see why they would stop. They've already taken most of the risk by running this deep in. Oh, NQC. I didn't notice that, but he does have the EWP, so yeah, he's going to be waiting and hoping for a mistake here for Stown. Oh, he just... that's a pre-fire. I don't know how else he would be able to do that.
What a find to the AWP there. Huge find for Astralis. That tells them so much. And they're certainly worried about this A play, but I think giving up that information, there's still a lot of time in the round. paiN retaking Banana a little bit, showing some presence there, threatening that they could be going back to B. So some good, I would say good for Inferno fundamentals on the T side macro as they reestablish their hit onto the A site now.
Okay, so Flashbang goes out. Oh, that's an incendiary. I think NQC must have heard that, but yeah, the clock has run out. They have to go here, right into the grenade. That's going to slow them down so much. 35 seconds. Snare gets one, and a really quick double for him. Unfortunately, Stow was not able to help out in that fight all that much. So still the bomb should be planted here. Davideus, don't really know how he lives for the fight. It looks like Device had the opportunity to maybe catch him with his pants down. Hoxie and Yabi, tough call here, and no chance whatsoever. paiN will pick up a 5th round. That one is kind of on the knife's edge, but what I do appreciate is that once they kind of saw the opening paiN, they were all in. There was no doubt in anyone there. They followed through.
Yeah, and again, it's really just great to see, because Inferno is a map that the fundamentals have been so well established for many years, but it's not a given that teams of this level will play it out kind of correctly in terms of the how you control the map and the information game on the T side. But we just saw that from paiN. You know, they have that opener where they get really fast timing into the apps, opening themselves up for any picks. Should Astralis be playing that spot? Astralis were playing passive on the site. NQC gets posted up. Could have gotten a pick. but it wasn't given to him. So it's a hard situation for paiN to recover from in that sense because they've shown a hand.
Yeah.
They reset the round. They reestablished presence both sides, punishing Astralis for not going a bit more aggressive on the map control. And then paiN get to play a setup where they're coming in 5v3 into the A site. It is just good Counter-Strike there.
That's what will save them. Or maybe the double AWP, because Hero's got one as well, so double AWP on T side and definitely a rare sight. But why not? See if they have an AK somewhere else. Rick's still not having a very good time at all. He's got 4 kills in the first half, taken down early on. And all right, so Pico is going to run back and pick up an AK and T-spawn. That's what he's currently doing. Either that or he just wanted to play the bells, but it was the AK.
I respect it.
Could have been playing a bit of Baby Shark, you know.
No. Why?
All right. All right, Dan. hating babies now also, apparently.
I mean, they just run everything. Well, they're so needy.
That's absolutely true. Yabi, good position. HOTU, bringing in the MP9. Ooh, this is a bit interesting, though. If Yappy dies, you kind of got to wonder. They are almost lining up for him. It could be a 6 spray down, but it doesn't work out that way. No one's checking HOTU. Oh, he lines up for it, and even the MP9 can get the job done. 2 big kills. They just did not expect that, and I can't even really blame them. A lot of damage with the smoke onto NQC. Bomb does get planted, but it's just a one-man show here. Snow never even getting a chance at a device. Great kills to get the job done with. That's 7 at the end of the half in favor of Astralis, the 5 of paiN. Still a very open map. To be honest, I'm impressed that paiN managed to bring it back. I thought they were going to get completely blown up, but they're still competitive.
Yeah, and I think they have to wash away that last round there because the kind of the second player, the fake check, you know, the half player, it's one of those things that shouldn't it shouldn't exist.
Yeah.
Because it's one of those things that if you like really look at it, you're moving your mouse, but you're not actually paying attention.
Yeah.
So, and you're not actually clearing it.
You're
so that's a problem. You know, and I lost on the round.
Like you're really being betrayed by your own brain. Just like,
yeah.
And sometimes I think those kind of mistakes, they're the worst ones to make as a player because you know instantly.
Yeah.
It's not one of those things where you have to go back and look at the demo and think, oh, well, now I totally understand what happened. It's like the second you die, like, no, I really like, I should have checked all the way.
And it's kind of like it's one of those things where it's like a cognitive overwhelm because your brain has this checklist of things you should be doing. And so sometimes players, I think, in more pressured environments, they will get into this mode where it kind of all blends in together and you just don't decisively do this one thing and then this next thing and then this next thing. You're trying to do too many things at once and then you get a mistake like that. Oh, you can see the disgust.
Yeah.
Oh, it's visceral.
I can't really blame them.
No, yeah, it sucks.
That Molotov is, I mean, again, it's an immediate indication that it was going to be some sort of a pit play anyway. Very likely. And the fact that we've got this split towards the apartments, but they did get spotted. And the issue with that is, do you want to keep going even after the paiN team probably already know? Device with a chance to fight back. It's going to be a game of whack-a-mole. There are a lot of people coming at him, and it's the worst game. Oh, they've traded places. Now the T's are actually defending the bomb side already.
Yeah. Okay, well, good position for Oh, 2 headshots. Can't ask for much more than that. Stayer has been a trusty pair of hands. Gonna fall back into the site. Oh my goodness, Rix gets the better though. And now down to HOTU.
They do have a kit. They've got plenty of time right now. There's no real stress coming in for paiN. Low on health. The first kill's the easiest one. Headshot, but Snow immediately on top of him. The dually is going great work, and Rick's obviously 3 kills, like you said. Really impressive round. What a funny round too. In terms of them trading places and going in to cut the head off device there. It's good stuff.
But there's the danger lurks. The bomb went down. The force buy is nigh.
They will definitely buy.
And I'm looking forward to seeing what Astralis will choose. Because there's so many cool options you can have with a force buy. It was just so funny there because it feels like you almost feel like device feels like he's covered, in a way. Yeah,
he's the least likely person to get in a fight at that point. In his own mind, he's like, Well, yeah, he's even laughing about it. That's fair.
Yeah.
Good job. I mean, temptation again is probably... Oh, wow.
Massive.
Now there are openings.
Challenge. That's a big win, though. The device is quite low. Perfect spot there for Davideus. And the bullets rain in. A reset into pit. No punish. And this is not good now for Astralis. But still over a minute left, Anders, and still... Okay, well, maybe the options are really now pretty limited.
Yeah, unfortunately. I actually think the call for Astralis to go as quick as they did once they got the opening is a great one. And I don't know why they didn't get the kill on, I think it was NQC at the next corner. He was playing the corner of the A-bomb side there. I feel like they should have been able to trade him out and just kind of keep on going, but he lived a lot longer than that.
I was surprised that Astralis didn't decide to kind of all spill into the spot where they got the pick. Because normally, you know, that's one way you pick up the gun as a team. Yeah. If there's another player in that setup, you trade them out, and then you also are in this spot for the CTs where you, with loads of time, you can go to both B or A, as well. So and obviously like the setups around the pit position, the apartments, and the site, there's a lot of potential issues there. You know, because you don't know where the CTs could be. So. Yeah, like I thought that connector pick was just like the godsend. I feel like that was like the way that Astralis win the rounds for sure. Yeah. So well done by paiN.
They probably did as well.
Yeah.
Well, at least he's going to be able to save the M4, and that's something to you know, mess around with. It's not too bad. He'll have some fun with that in the next round, presumably, but still the scoreline is tied up 7-7.
Yes. Yes. Suddenly the series takes a turn. paiN looking much more put together on this map. And if we look back to the performance at Rivals, where it was the inaugural, or the debut of DJGT, I always struggle to say DGT for some reason.
Yes,
he was
I feel the same.
The savior for paiN. He looked like the best player on the team.
Yeah. From Uruguay. It's really cool that, you know, it's not just Brazil, even though it does take up a lot of space in South America, but we're actually getting more, you know, South American nations coming into it. Yeah. I think it's really fun to see. Hopefully there'll be more. We got Chilean players, we've got some players from Argentina, obviously. But yeah, it's Counter-Strike slowly spreading out from there. Oh, there we go. So we like to say, you know, South NA is the best NA. So
yeah, I guess
it's an internal joke. There's like 5 people who understand what I'm saying, but sorry.
I'm not one of those 5, ladies and gentlemen. I'm with you here.
Sometimes those are the best jokes, you know. Well, device is already getting taken down. There's really no pressure here for paiN, is there? Just relax. Fall back. They're pretty far back on the map as a result. I totally appreciate that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they've also held onto a lot of util. So if they're in a retake situation, they have the util for that, and that's really the must.
Although nobody knows how to throw retake utility on the B-bomb side, I'm just saying it now because it's one of the worst things to watch. Smoke is up. That's the only smoke they have. So this is it. This is all in on this one. I'm shocked that they didn't throw the smoke for CT spawn because, well, that means Big Vincere can just take that fight.
Because that happens.
Yeah.
That happens.
And if they were going to throw the smoke like that, then why not use it to boost up with?
Yes.
I don't have any of the answers. I just have more questions.
All right. Well, at least you're free to ask questions, Anders.
Yeah, but where are the answers?
What if we had like
where are the analysts?
Authoritarian producers?
What are the analysts doing at this point in time? Can we put them to work? I feel like they're just. I hardly ever see them do any kind of work. What's up with that?
I don't know, Anders.
Get it back on the desk.
Can't all be like you.
It's probably for the best.
Yeah.
8-7 here.
So, sticking around. Just getting singed.
Again. Slowly melting away.
I wasn't going to do it. I just want everyone to know that. I thought of it, but I wasn't going to do it.
Okay, well, we found a real line between Dan and I. And Dan is like, that's too cheap. That's cheap points. I'm not taking them. But I will. But I definitely will. I'll take all the points I can get. It's going to be an explosion. And honestly, with NQC playing here, this is a nightmare scenario. Davideus, if he dies, NQC absolutely will as well. Oh, but he holds on. That is such a heroic effort. Tech9 finally getting into it. NQC, he does die eventually, but the whole bomb site defense would have fallen apart if that Galil on Davideus gets down. That's probably the end of it. 1 versus 4 here for Stout. Actually, one of the more doable ones, because he already got 2 of the kills. Coming back into it, he's got about 35 seconds, and he can steal the bomb. If he gets that, he can escape into the night. Oh, they're boosting on top. It's such a sick move. They spot him out. What a play.
We were crediting Astralis with the fast communication in these dynamic scenarios where you as players, you've got like one of you has to, because you know, usually it's the case like if your teammates are dead, they're not talking. It's going to be the guys that are left in the clutch that you have to talk to each other.
Yeah.
And so really fast like leadership moment from one of those 2 players, whoever came up with the call, because that was slick. That was so fast. And if it's not fast and decisive, it doesn't work. It's too late. So really good stuff from paiN as well on that end. And moving into the next round, 9-7, a 2-round advantage for paiN as we get closer to the potential final rounds of this one. And Astralis have to find a way back in, but we'll have to see what they are going to do, because this round they've got some nades, they've got some util, but it's mostly Tech9s and a hero AK otherwise.
I mean, that Molotov that they threw in the last round was pretty good. If you throw one like that and then one that's a little bit deeper back, you sort of get the double molly effect on the top banana position. You can probably take a fight, even with limited weapons here. So there might be something to play for there. And one of the Molotovs already into the apartments. Yeah, they're not really doing too much. There is one deep Molotov back here, but Vincere can just largely ignore it. Can't ignore HEs though.
Great pick in apartments. Another re-peek, another kill. NQC is here. God, the rollerblades are out on those cobbled streets.
Doesn't
what kind of wheels you need for that?
I don't know if they made like off-road rollerblading. I don't think that's a thing. Somebody should.
There we go.
He just
we got a business idea.
It's actually, now that it's someone must have tried that. There's got to be some eccentric person who's given it a shot at one point. NQC survives on 2 health from that dink with the Tech9 in the apps. I still kind of appreciate the fact that he went for it. It's just one of those confidence things. And he has been playing pretty well here. 11 kills. Still Davideus kind of leading the charge, but paiN about to be on 10 rounds is really interesting, because they just got so blown up on Nuke, which was actually the map pick of paiN. This is Astralis map pick. Astralis aren't exactly getting blown up, but they are trending towards a loss here. NQC finally goes down. If Rix doesn't get a kill here, there is a bomb plant available. Snow goes down. Oh, he misses a shot. He's going to die as well. It's absolutely disastrous. Vincere finds himself alone, and his teammates have already fallen. And that spray, I don't know how it does no damage. I feel like he should have been able to get a kill. They're both so low on health. He's going to run and pick up a couple of more grenades as he wraps around, but they will have heard this already. Down with a straight headshot, a quad kill, 18 in total, and a round that Astralis should never have been winning.
But also, look at the baiting that Device did to allow Stone to get those kills. So see, that kill's kind of ridiculous, but we'll see Stone here. Turns around for that one. Device is jiggling and occupying the attention of Rix. And then once again, Device... So just great team play coming in here from those 2 players. And I think that's like the kind of experience that you like to see out of a player like Device. Understanding that his job is to just create distraction and delay, having the presence of mind to know precisely where his teammate is, and that the best chance for him to win the fight is by occupying attention and just being a nuisance.
Maybe the desk was onto something. Maybe getting rid of all the people named Casper for Astralis just was the way to kind of move forward, because there is more synergy between some of these players than we've seen in the past. That's probably true. It's nice to see Stown land that shot as well, but yeah, the battle continues. If they lose this round, though, paiN Gaming, they will run out of money themselves, and obviously the the momentum that they have could be washed away. This time, deep utility. Ooh, that's a nice shot, Device. He's missed a couple of them in the series so far. I think he missed one on Nuke with a jump, and he definitely missed one when he was deep on the B-bomb site by the coffins there, on Big 0, if you remember. But this time, as clean as it can get.
Like how you said, if you remember, like really putting me on the spot, because I don't, and now I'm just feeling bad about how I don't remember things.
Just, here's a bit of advice.
Didn't have to even add that.
You just have to just lie, Dan. It's an underrated, like if you just lie more, you'd be surprised how much you can get away with.
Okay, I'm taking notes.
Yeah, okay, I'm giving you permission, you know. Just do it a little bit.
The contact now from Astralis up short is, it's not being read, but the MP9, perfect gun, reposition as you get a kill. That's the MP9 special.
I think Stair had an opportunity. I think he saw the helmet. He just probably didn't even notice. Gabby does go down. HOTU and Stown to bring it back into the favor of Astralis here. Big Vincere still with 11 bullets here, trying to see if he can do anything more. Stown is crouching in, and he will continue his assault on the A-bomb site. He's got 2 kills in this round. And NQC, he's hoping for something here. That is going to bounce the wrong way. It won't put any pressure, unfortunately, on Device. And he has to back on it. They have no money. They say WP is too valuable. Astralis going to be tying up the game 9-9. NQC will take out his frustrations on the chickens.
Yeah, and I love the way that Astralis played the mid rounds here. You know, just regrouping after the initial show of like, oh, we're defaulting, but then hitting a slightly faster pace and using the AWP, kind of walking and scoped, so that a Device can just clear stuff as they move. And the only thing that can really counter that is if NQZ is playing A. And I'm not sure 100% if Astralis knew where he was, but if they did, it really makes it even smarter that they decided to contact up short in the way that they did.
Yeah.
Because that was just a perfect way to play that spot. So 9-9, they've managed to recover, and it was looking like everything was pain. You know, it looked so good, and now suddenly, as it happens in Counter-Strike, and as that momentum has been vanquished.
And you know, typically it coincides with the money running out, doesn't it? Eventually, you just can't take any more losses. I'm curious when Jabby's going to join this Inferno game. That'd be sick for Astralis if he could have more than 5 kills. He was playing fine on Nuke.
You said you weren't going to talk about the kills, Anders. I guess you're lying. You said it's your playbook.
You're on to me. You figured it out, Dan. Oh, nice shot from NQC. He has to do it again. He has to step up here. They don't really have a lot to work with. Molotovs to try and put some pressure on him. He is burning alive in the bomb site, almost being pushed into the next wall of flames there. But that's great utility use for Astralis. Just try to make it as uncomfortable as you can, and they still have a way out. They've pulled the plug, ripped the parachute cord, and now they are slowly escaping towards the B site, which I think Device could do a better job at actually clearing the path for his team. Lucky to survive, to be honest. Well, or not.
It's no luck. It's no luck. Okay, these pistols are doing a lot of damage. Device is in a great position with the AWP, though. After plant B site with AWP, amazing. But let's just use the Tech 9. Close range.
Such a low percentage round here. I can understand why Payne want to go for this. It's so hard to blame them for it, but yeah. I really think that's I don't think so. Davides had no helmet, and QC obviously has no health. Don't think they had a kit either. It's just that you're sort of high on the fact that you've even got into the 2v2 that it feels like we've got to go for it. But that was probably always going to be a very hard round to win. I don't blame Payne for it. I understand why they wanted to do it, but it does cost them quite a bit, and Astralis will win the round.
Terrorists win. What a waste of a good chicken.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's tried to. I know you can, supposedly, you can fish with C4 or dynamite. I suppose people do. I don't think anyone's ever gone hunting for chickens with it.
I don't enjoy the lack of precision. We're just using an explosive.
Yeah,
don't know that.
Does seem like overkill, doesn't it?
Yeah, felt like we could, I don't know, find a different way, but 10-9. Payne need to find another way. NQZ, holding on to orb for multiple rounds. And that's very well done, to be honest.
That's almost jumping in. I'm surprised he didn't take more damage. It's, looked like he was about to headbutt the grenade here. Vincere goes down.
Yeah, and to be honest, it's funny because that same kill was done to device, but by NQZ in the other half.
Yeah. It's tempting when you're on the CT side to try and play the edge of the smoke, because you feel like you have the advantage, you know, a lot of the time. But maybe you even do with the sort of with the whole peak, but maybe not. Stare, great spray as he's, you know, Rix is still running out. It's not an easy shot to hit. Yabby's up here. He's up to 6 kills, but still, we could desire a bit more. Good flashes being set up. The Stare just swings the corner. Davideus, last bullet to take the kill on a Yabby. Pistol's out now, and it will be a 1 versus 1. Orp, well, I was going to say versus Orp, but Stown is going to pick up the weapon here. 16 bullets. He doesn't realize, but NQC is a million miles away still. So the bomb is going to be planted. What a hard job here for NQC. Could be the entire map and series almost online right now because paiN just don't have the money for it here. He's wrapped the other way around. He's going towards that arch position. So Stown's situation right now is so sick. Up in the graveyard. I don't know how he's ever going to check this one. He's also running the clock down quite low. So eventually NQC, he can't spend any more time walking. He has to get a lot closer to the site here. He is checking it. It's actually not that bad, but Stown, he doesn't even get hit. What a headshot. He counter-straves away from the wall to make that a very awkward fight for NQC. And Stown is just having a sick game right here.
Yeah, I was just thinking too, the changes that have been made to the graveyard position over the years. You used to be able to like actually just full on hide down like the steps and so on, like previous versions of the map, and it's like that is so much more exposed. Very well done. And I mean, this pick from Stare, that's the find. That's the find that creates a lot of more space towards the site, but to be the counterbalance, and I think has often been in the series, Davideus. Davideus' multi-kills have been mega impactful for paiN, so you know, it's great to see in this tournament, and maybe this is a storyline that's going to continue, Davideus really coming in to really help paiN in key moments, even though they didn't win the 1v1 clutch.
Yeah, I really think he's a fantastic player to watch for that reason. I'm not even necessarily surprised that Davideus is doing this. I was more surprised that he wasn't doing it in Copenhagen more. I thought that was going to be, but obviously DGT was taking up a lot of the space. Maybe so that's you know, that was also good for them.
Yes.
The money, a real big issue. There is an AWP on NQC, so they've done something to try and get them into it, but that's been revealed.
Yeah.
They hear that echo out across the map, and they're going to know Astralis. And I mean, if you're here already, you could feel like it's an attempt to push you into the B-bomb site.
Yeah. I mean, I totally agree with you. I think just even a micro hesitation does cancel it, and it feels like that was happening there because they would have had to like adapt instantly. But this position from Davideus, the MP9 in the apps could end up being a bit overlooked and scary.
Vincere down here in the boiler room with it's one of the original people to change the view model around, and people were laughing for a long time, and then everyone started doing it. The bomb will be planted here. They know that Vincere is here somewhere, but is anyone even watching? Is anyone even paying attention? Jabby, I think he's going to be dead. Oh yeah, what a surprise. This could be a fantastic round. 2 versus 3. Oh, unfortunately, they line up for Stown. He is, as always, the man to take down. Vincere has to get a bit closer here. Awkward fight against Stare, and he can't quite get the battle down right. So it will still be Astralis to pick up the round. They get to 12. And paiN, it was a bit of a half buy in the previous round, obviously apart from the AWP. So they have some money into this one to try and fight this one into overtime. But what a challenge, because you are just up against sort of a classic Stown performance here. He has some games like this. It needs to be more, and I think especially for Stown, individually, it needs to be when he's playing higher-level opponents. But when he's like this, he's kind of a demon.
And I mean, you know, if the culture on the team is trending upwards and they feel refreshed in that way, that is only going to encourage there to be better performances, morale to be higher, and so on and so forth. So perhaps it will be something we'll see as a trend in this tournament. As Astralis 12-9 could be a swift 2-0 against paiN.
It could be. paiN really fought back on this one, I must say. But it's all on the line. It's nice incendiary, reclaiming a bit of banana control. Vincere moving forward. Oh, it's a deep grenade landed on 3 people down there. But no kills coming through on the paiN side at the moment. and it has spent quite a bit of their utility. Rick's being run over, but I think he might have just dropped a smoke, and then he's going to try and escape back towards the arch position.
So Yabby smoked connector side, or the long A area. Keep 3 players towards A. So far, successful is Yabby, keeping 3 players there, whilst his teammates now are starting to look into this B site. Just Snow in the back site here, Anders.
It's not a good position to be in, is it? 30 seconds left, so they have time to find him and kill him eventually. HOTU's there, and Snow waits for too long. I don't know how. You have to try and go for the retake, but in truth, there should be no way to get through. They have 2 more smokes here on the T side, which means they can smoke the CT spawn position essentially forever. So you have to flash your way through. There's no other way. And I think they realize once they hear the smoke going down, you can see them all going into the church to say, all right, let's hope. One last hurrah. Couple of flashbangs to set it up, but Astralis pretty much have this one in the bag already. Payne struggling to get there, waiting for that smoke. That smoke also just went down, so finally it's gone. Rick's the first sacrifice to go through. Stown gets a kill, and Stare with the final one of the series. Astralis with a 13-9 victory and a 2-0 in the series here to take down Payne Gaming. That's fantastic work for the Danes. I mean, it's about time. Who knows what's going to happen in the future of Astralis, but surely the desk have got to be happy with what they're seeing here.
I mean, not all of us have to be, right?